So reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 8, text 5. Please repeat after me. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body remembering me, alone at once attain my nature.
Alone attains my nature.
Of this there is no doubt.
Of this there is no doubt.
Purport. In this verse, the importance of Krishna consciousness is stressed. Anyone who quits his body in Krishna consciousness is at once transferred to the transcendental nature of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord is the purest of the pure. Therefore, anyone who is constantly Krishna conscious is also purest of the pure. The word smarana, remembering, is important. Remembrance of Krishna is not possible for the impure soul who does not practice Krishna consciousness. In devotional service, therefore, one should practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of life. If one wants to achieve success at the end of his life, the process of remembering Krishna is essential. Therefore, one should constantly, incessantly chant the Maha Mantra. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised that one should be tolerant as a tree. There may be many impediments for a person who is chanting Hare Krishna. Nevertheless, tolerating all these impediments, one should continue to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So that at the end of his life, one can have the full benefit of Krishna consciousness. So we'll explain a little and then we can discuss the story to illustrate the point. So Prabhupada is saying we can either serve Kama Devi or Krishna. Kama Devi is a form of lust and Krishna is a form of the purest. So our most important activity is remembering. And then when we chant the holy name of the Lord, this spiritual sound vibration is coming from the spiritual world. It is stated, Kali Kalera Nam Arupna Krishna Vitar. In this age of Kali, I descend in the form of my holy name. So when you chant the holy name of the Lord, Krishna is dancing on your tongue. So how much more respectful one should be when we're chanting the holy name. And then when we are doing our 16 rounds, the 8 rounds, the 4 rounds, we should not deviate or get disturbed if a ping comes on our phone or someone knocks at the door. Rather, who is not chanting, attend to that, because when you are pulling the beats forward, you finish one verse of the Maha Mantra, you are massaging Krishna's body. Now, when you get distracted and leave your beat down to attend to something other than focusing on the chanting, it's not nice. So, when I first went to Mayapur, I had South Indian friends, so they told me I should come for the village program. So we went in the evening, we went to the village, and then this senior devotee chanting the holy name, like how we were chanting. And then he asked in the crowd, who is not chanting the holy name? One elderly person put his hand up, and he said, I was not chanting the holy name. What will happen to me? So the senior devotee is saying, when we chant the holy name, leaps and bounds of karma, sinful activity and reaction leave our body, and it goes into the universe. And from there, it goes and settles on the person who is not chanting the holy name. So when we chant the holy name, either singularly or responsibly, we should all chant the holy name. So 2 times this verse, the Maha Mantra is there. So Prabhupada is stressing a point, we should chant the holy name. You can chant in a pure form. Namabas is in a faulty form or in an offensive form. It's very hard to chant Sudhana, pure chanting of the holy name. Of course, if you chant, then you get benefit, but because we conditioned soul, we associate with matter from time immemorial. So we are conditioned like that. We need to get purified. So we're chanting the holy name to the best of our ability without losing any focus. Those who chant early in the morning and they can't focus, rather just put a towel around your head, make it dark and then chant, so you get no deviation. Because the eye is the source of danger. What the eye sees, the mind desires. So it's very important that we have a fixed time we get up and we chant the holy name. Of course, all of us are working. It's physically impossible to do your 16 round. It takes 2 hours of our time. So you at least do 6 or 8. Lunchtime you do more, and evening time you do it. So if you do your 16 round early in the morning and then you go to work or do whatever activities you have to do for the day, that karma for the day is burnt out. You won't get no reaction. No offenses will come upon you. So we're going to try to do Sudhanam chanting, the pure chanting. So once we trained up in this chanting, the remembrance comes, and then at the critical time of death, or we are in a sick bed or in hospital, you can remember this chanting. So if you chant and somebody give you a task to do, either in devotional service or in a temple, and they said to you what to do, and then you walk a few meters and then you forgot. So if you cannot remember, that means you're not chanting properly. And if you forgot, or you forget the instruction, that means you're not interested. So remembrance comes like that. So what will happen in the case if our loved ones or family, friends, relatives are in a hospital in a comatose situation and they're not devotees, or sometimes they are devotees and they incapacitated, they cannot chant. So at the time you go to the gift shop, you buy a Prabhupada box chanting the holy name. And let it play 2 hours without being disturbed. That is the equivalent for you chanting the holy name. Because hearing means chanting. Chapter 9 verse 1, the glory of devotional service is explaining out of the 9 processes of devotional service, hearing is first, then chanting. So if you're sick and you cannot chant, then you play Prabhupada chanting, the pure devotees chanting. It enters into your ear and goes into the courtyard of the heart. But don't take advantage of this, but you need to chant. When you get better, you chant. So one devotee was telling me, they went to see the spiritual master in America. So the spiritual master said to them, we'll go on an outing. You can row the boat on the lake. So the devotees went in and they were rowing to and fro. And then they saw the spiritual master chanting the banks of the lake. And then they came close to the lake and told Guru, please come in, chant in the boat, and we will row to and fro. The spiritual master said, no, for 6 months I have been in hospital, I never chant. So I'm chanting 25 rounds a day to cover up that. So when the devotees heard the statement, they brought the boat back to the shore, and everybody took the bead bag and chanted. So critical that we don't know where is danger. This material world, there's danger at every step. So we may not be lucky like Mother Bhumi from London. She got caught in the traffic, and then when she went 10 minutes late, she made a row with the ticket sales that at least give me a refund. I missed the flight because of traffic, and it was going back and forth until she got messages on the phone. So that was a good karma. Everything was orchestrated by the hand of the Lord. But we may not understand that. So she was a devotee of Lord Ganesha, Durban. So he wasn't Krishna conscious. So we got this holy name, and the secret is in the bead bag. You just have to take out and chant. Ajmira Das came from a pure Brahmana family. Since young he was brahmachari. He carried out all his Brahmanical training, and when he was 25 he got married. He had so many children, he had a chaste wife, and then one afternoon his father said, go into the forest and pick up some woods. So as he was going to the forest, it was getting dark by twilight time. Then he saw a drunken man shamelessly embracing a woman. And he just glanced, just silent glance. That was enough. That lusty thought and desire stayed in his consciousness till the morning. When he gathered the woods for the cooking, next day he went to seek out this person. So when he found her, he brought her at home. His chaste wife and the children had left. So within so many years, he had 10 children from this prostitute. Then the sages came before the 10th child can be born. The sages came to his house. Hastily he prepared some food stuff. He offered it and he gave him. And the sages said to his wife, your last son, you should name him Narayan. They complied. And soon this person gave birth and they kept the child Narayan. At that point in time, Ajmila was 80 years old. So he was sick, listless, sleeping on the bed. He had great joy listening to children playing outside. And then while he was looking in the ceiling, three fierce creatures came with chains and shackles. When he saw those fearful creatures, he cried, Narayan, Narayan! And then the Vishnu Dusas appeared. When they appeared, at that point in time, Ajmir was unconscious because he saw these fierce-looking creatures. Vishnu told Yamudra, you have no jurisdiction. He called out for my master's name, and we are here to take him back. Then this conversation was going back and forth. Although Ajmir was unconscious, but he was hearing the debate that's going on. This is the first time that Yamudutta was defeated. And then he called out our Lord's name, our Master's name in pure goodness. So please leave him alone and go back to Yamraj. At some point of time, Ajmila gained consciousness and he saw his son standing there. He rubbed his son's head a little. He has a second chance. There's a book, Second Chance, about the story. And then all his sinful activities were wiped out. He started chanting, engaging in some household service, devotional service. And when he was 88 years old, Guruda came to take him. He said he's not ready yet. So at the age of 90, he left his body and he went back. Just by chanting Narayan, his son's name. Therefore, all spiritual initiated devotees get a spiritual name. So we call upon them, whether they're living, or they're dying, or they're dead. So that spiritual name gives you some potency, a spiritual potency, so that you make advancement. In Mayapur, there was another Muslim man. He went out early morning to his field. So he was doing his business in the field, and then one boar came, one pig. And then the pig tossed him with a tusk, and he said, Haram, Haram. Just before he died, he said, Haram, Haram. So he chanting Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Haram means abominable in Urdu or in Islam. So he just said Haram, Haram. So he chanted unconsciously the name of Lord Ram, and he got the full benefit. So we in this body with good health, we got full facility. The government allows us freedom of religion. So take advantage of this chanting of the holy name. This is the only process that can save you at the time of death. And if you're a devotee and if you're in a comatose situation, Prabhupada chanting is playing, and then with all your devotional service over the years you have done, nothing goes in vain. Mahaprabhu will come and whisper the Maha Mantra in your right ear so that you can get promoted to the spiritual world. So, liberation is not easy. Everybody say he is liberated. Liberation means taking birth in a family of Brahman or a rich aristocratic family, and from there you have full facility to continue with your process. If you're left as material world with 1%, in your next life you start with 2%. There is no loss or diminution in this process. And a little advancement can save you from the most dangerous type of fear. Chapter 2, verse 41, it is stated. So, this story about Ajmer can remind us of a hopeless situation at the time of death. You call upon the holy name and you will be saved. When Draupadi was getting disrobed in the arena, Krishna was outside. She had one hand up, Krishna, help me, help me. But in a hopeless situation, Krishna saw a half surrender. When she put her hand, both hands up, Krishna came incarnated in a sari. And Krishna said, I was just outside, why don't you call for me? So when they were in a forest, this story is in Mahabharata. When they was in a forest with Krishna, and Krishna got cut in his finger, so Draupadi quickly tore a piece of a petticoat and she bandaged that wound. And Krishna said, in the time of your need, When you want cloth, I'll give you unlimited supply of cloth. So we take to this process, we surrender to the Lord, we chant the holy name, we offer our food stuff, we take Krishna Prasad, we engage in devotional service, and that is enough to take you back home, back to Godhead. The primary reason of Krishna consciousness teaching is to teach you how to die. So we want to eradicate this reincarnation. Don't come back and take birth again. When you take birth again, then you have to go to school. Then you have to be taught by non-devotees. Then you have to pay the school fees. Then calamities will come, rain, flood, everything. Better just get out of this material world. Just take this practice of Krishna consciousness seriously and go back home, back to God. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Is there any questions with spiritual consolidation? We'll attempt to answer.
Prabhu, could you elaborate about chanting, the consciousness we need to have, and what about that introduction mantra, Panchatattva mantra? Is it necessary?
Yeah, there's Panchatattva mantra, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasati Gaura Bhaktivinoda. It is stated in the scriptures, those with less intelligence should chant this Panchatattva mantra. So before you start chanting, you chant this Panchatattva mantra. You can chant one round, there's no harm, that means 108 times. Or you can chant one verse. When you finish the Ma mantra, then you chant another Panchatattva mantra. In that way you're doing 16. So, we know the meaning of the mantra. Hara means the invocation to addressing the Supreme Lord. Krishna means all attractive. If we want the reservoir of pleasure, that is Lord Ram, then we have to chant Hare Ram. So this chanting came from the spiritual world. It is a spiritual sound vibration. And it is recommended in this age of Kali Yuga that we should chant the holy name. Mahaprabhu has stated, Hare Nama, Evi Kaivalam, Kalau na seva, Gatir Angata. Once you chant the holy name, chant the holy name, chant the holy name. There is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way. So this phrase has 3 verses that is emphasizing a point. Sometimes a mother will tell a child, don't do it, don't do that again. So she is emphasizing a point, so the child does not do that again. So here Mahaprabhu is saying, Hare Nama, Eva Kevalam, Kalo na seva, Gatir Angata. The other verse, Kali Kalera Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. In this age of Kali, I descend in the form of my holy name. No other mantras will work in this age of Kali. This is golden age is meant for chanting the holy name. It can be disputed, but we take Prabhupada's advice. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. So we chant. Sometimes devotees chant mockingly, sometimes they chant seriously, all is not going unnoticed. So practice makes perfect. When 2 years ago when I was in Mayapur, Vrindavan, I was chanting for 6 hours, 64 hours. When I left my bead bag down to take some prasad, my lips are still mumbling the mantra. So that Mama was there, I couldn't stop because I have no taste for the holy name. I'm trying, but because I chanted so much, 6 hours, and then this mantra automatically came on my lips and automatically being uttered like that. So you try, you'll see. The reason why I did that was there's no service. Class are in Bengali, translators are in Nepal, and they translate softly so you don't disturb the speaker and others. So from Mangalatik right until lunchtime, you chant holy name. You not go there to do anything else but maintain your focus and recharge your batteries. So preferably chanting should be done in the morning. Sometimes we get attached to our pillows and duvets. So try and get up early, that's the secret. For my Brahmana initiation, my spiritual master he came from America to Durban, Sri Radharana temple. First question he asked me, what time do you get up and chant? So I told him, what are you reading? I told him Srimad Bhagavatam. What service you are doing? I told him I must oversee the Sunday feast preparation. Then he told the committee that it should be included in the Brahmana initiation. Just by my regulative principles and my sadhana, you get up early and you chant, and then you read for a few hours a day. So once spiritual master came to the Sri Radharana temple, so I asked him, Maharaj, you have stayed here for a few days. What's wrong in the temple, the full-time devotees and the congregations? And he said, they are not reading Srila Prabhupada books. Try and read at least one chapter, either in the evening or before you take rest, read. It'll help you. And if you read and you don't give it out, then you lose it. You become a kripana, a miser. In Krishna consciousness, there's no secret. You hear and you repeat. And there's so many causes are going around. You can do sadachar, you can do Vaishnava etiquette, you can do Bhakti diploma in Bhagavad Gita, you can do Bhakti Vaibhav, the first 6 cantos of the Bhagavatam, you can do Bhakta Sastri. Nobody fails. This is only one institution where you write a test and nobody fails. So today was Bhaktivinoda Thakur's appearance day. Bhaktivinoda Thakur appeared in 1896, the same year as Prabhupada took his birth. The same year he posted some manuscript in McGill University. And surprisingly, the devotees who joined in 1966, they found that and showed Prabhupada. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur was a magistrate, very appointed by the British government, very strict in his practice of Krishna consciousness. Once he heard in the villages, Palko Baba is there and he's stating that he is God. So Palko Baba was a mystic yogi. He has some perfections. He can interfere in your life through sickness like that. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, oh, let me see this man. He took his Srimad Bhagavatam and he started reciting in the presence of this man. And suddenly the wind started howling, the leaves came, a lot of disturbance were coming. And then finally he was arrested and brought to the British court. So he said to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, if you don't release me, your family members will get sick. And true to his saying, his family members were getting sick because he was a mystic yogi. And then even Bhaktivinoda Thakur was getting some fever like that. So there was a commotion in the court. And this British policeman, he should read the scriptures, he should know Hindi. And he said to his constable, subdue him, hold him. And then he brought a scissors, cut his hair, he had a whole jar. He cut his hair, and then that man fell down powerless. All the mystic yogis, they have big hair, the power is in the hair. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, just through scriptures, because he had firm faith in the scriptures, he was bold enough to preach. So now time is not permitting. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.